Everyone, it's Sue here from Scrappy Doo Sue. I hope everyone's doing okay. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome all my returning subscribers and welcome any new subscribers. I'm going today to attempt to recreate this little booklet that was made out of 6x6 paper pad. And this is the paper pad I used, which has been in my stash for a long time. It's one of Doe Crafts Paper Mania Mythological, and I never really ever used it, mainly because I don't know, it's I don't know, it's quite a fantasy one. It's very, very pretty, it's lovely, but I just never had any reason to use it. So I'm following a tutorial by Natasha at Treasure Books. She's one of my favourite YouTubers. Which is quite complicated, so I made this as a prototype and I'll just show you quickly. So I just put that tie around it like that. Sorry, I just knocked the camera. So this is the front cover. It's all 6x6 paper out of that pad. Okay, so I've decorated the front with a bit of a cluster here, some beads, and a little charm with a mermaid because there are mermaids in it. Cut out a word from a piece of the paper pad, put some lace on here, and that's the back cover with another word on the back. So inside we have a slanted pocket with a little slanted tag, and I've stenciled on the back of them all. We have a narrow pocket here, and again we've got a long sort of bookmark tag in there, and then on this page I made a little notepad to go on it, and I put it in white because it's primarily white backgrounds on these pads. So that's the next page here, and I made that pad, and that's a piece of scrap, and I just used a scrap of ribbon and stuck that on. So then we come over here and we've got another slim pocket, so I've decorated it with some lace. It's very pink and blue and I put a scrap piece from the paper pad, but this piece here is just a spare little sheet that I had, and again I've stenciled back. So there's another slanted pocket there, little tuck with a little slim card in. Here I put a little belly band on with a word, and I just put a little piece in there. I put a little booklet that you can write in. Here I've put a little pocket, again another little piece there, and this is a pocket here, and it's just got a nice plain writing card, a journal card in it, like so. So this is just my prototype. So then this one pulls out, and on this side I've decorated it with ribbon, and here I've left that page plain because in here is another journal card, which is another piece from the paper. And I haven't actually, you know, decorated any of the journal cards as such because I thought that, you know, they spoke for themselves. I just wanted to leave them to poke out the top. Here on this side I've made two side tucks out of scraps, and I decorated the edge there with a punch, and that's another little piece to journal on, goes in there. And then this one is another little pad that I made out of scraps of white paper, and that goes in there like so. So two little side tucks there. So turn that over, and in this pocket are 2 journal cards. So we've got, well actually, yeah, so this wasn't a pocket, that was supposed to go in there like that and just poke out the top. Okay, and then I've done a little piece on here which I made into a sort of a pocket band kind of thing, with just a piece that came out of my ephemera stash. And then this is a flap, another little pocket here, and another piece here. And then that's a really pretty page, I thought didn't need any embellishing. And this is a side tuck. Now where has the card gone for that? I'm wondering if these have got mixed up, and maybe that one went in there. I just have a look. I think that did. And then that one opens. That's got a little pocket in with a piece from the book pages out of that scrap pad, and that goes in there. Well, it should do. I won't force it. Then I've done another belly band here with another piece to journal on, and I've shaped the edges like so. And then this one is a pocket and has a journaling card with the mermaids on like so, and they can go in, but actually it goes in this way round because I put the thumb hole here like so. And that one, I don't know why that won't go in unless I've mixed them up. And this one maybe here, does that go in there? Oh, it did fit in there, so I'm not too sure. Let me just poke my bone folder down in case it sort of stuck itself a bit maybe. That's better. There was something impeding it, I think. But that folds into there, and then we turn over and we've just got that at the back. So that is what I'm going to make. And I've got her instructions. I actually took a photograph of them, because Natasha's very, very good at writing out the instructions, and she lets you photograph them, and then I printed them off. So that one is quite a whimsical one. Okay, but it's a good way of using up your 6x6 pads. So these are the instructions that she wrote down here. So what you need to do is you need 17 pages of 6x6. Now it's not mandatory that you use 6x6. You could use a 12x12 sheet. I'll probably cut it into quarters and have that size, or you could do it even bigger if you wanted to use your 8x8s. It's entirely up to you. So I had these these are all spare 6x6 out of paper pads and also from Happy Mail. So I have chosen these. So this was in Happy Mail from a lovely lady called Jane Austen. I think she sent me all the peacock ones, because at the time I was making a peacock journal, so I did use a couple of them in that, which long been sold now, thankfully, and I kept some back. So what you need to do, get your 17 pages, and then you choose your front and your back. And the reason you're doing that is because if we look at this one, the back cover folds across here, so it's quite nice if you wanted to have something that matches in with the front cover. So obviously this is the pink, and I've matched that over the side there. So I've chosen for my front cover this lovely peacock pinky striped one, and the back I've chosen this because I thought the colours went very well. They're not out of the same set. I just thought they went very well. So you put your back sheet to one side, leave that. Okay, so now we start. So you need a scoreboard, or utilize something that you can score with, and I'm going to use my small one. Okay, so you take your first first page here, your front, and you're scoring 1/2 inch on the left hand side. So down here I'm scoring very lightly this 1/2 inch, which is there. Okay, and then we're going to fold that over, and that's your first hinge. Okay, right, so then we take page 2. So this is my first page, this is my page 2, and I'm scoring 1/2 inch on the left hand side and fold inside, it says. So this is my left hand side again, this is my 1/2 inch, and I think I have to fold it that way. I'm not sure, I won't crease it just in case. And apply glue on the folded piece and place on top of the blank side of, so I'm folded it the wrong way. So this one goes that side out like that. Okay, and I want it up that way. So I am gluing my hinge to, hang on a second, it does get complicated now. Actually, no, this is not right. I'm gluing, just hold on one moment, sorry about that. So we folded a hinge on the left hand side 1/2 inch there on the first page, and we've done 1/2 inch on the left hand side on the second page, and that is folded so that that is on the white side, showing on the white side. And then what we're going to do is we're going to glue this down onto here. So that's your page 2. Now if you wanted to make this into a pocket at the top, you could do that now, and then you'd only be gluing down that onto that hinge along the bottom and onto that hinge. But I'm going to glue it down completely, so I'm going to do that now with my Beacon 3-in-1. I found this to be the most effective. So I'm gluing this hinge here onto this here like so, and this gives me a bit of wiggle room. So try and line up your edges, because as it gets fuller going forward, you want them all to be aligned if you can. Okay, so it's easier to do one side at a time. Then I'm going to just score this down a bit, just burnish it, I mean, just burnish it a couple of times to make it go flat. And I am gluing that, and then going to glue a little bit more in there, and I'm just going to glue that. So that is now completely glued down. And just give that a burnish like so. Okay, so you have your first page and your second page. Okay, right, so now we need a hinge so that we can attach another page. Right, so we Oh my goodness, I glued down that one. I needed that to put another page inside. Sorry about this. So keep that page like that for a minute. It's a good job this doesn't dry straight away. Then take your third page and you're scoring it 1/2 inch on the right hand side. Okay, so I'm just going to score it down here 1/2 inch. It's the wrong one to score with. This one's got a narrow tip, but this is a non-directional, this paper, so when I turn it round I've scored 1/2 inch on the right hand side. Okay, and we're going to fold this one in half, and we're folding it that way, pattern side to that score line there. I'll give that a press down. So that's going to be your little pocket. Okay, so I'm going to want a little thumb hole in mine. So at this stage I am just going to make a little crease there and put a little thumb hole in there like so. Oops, right. Okay, so it's going to be on that side. So this hinge, then glue the hinge in between the first and the second page. So I'm gluing my hinge in like that. So it's quite tricky. And I'm just going to look at my prototype to make sure I'm gluing it in the right way. I am. Yes, that's fine. So my pocket hole is going to be on the opposite side, but I could have put one here if I wanted to. In fact, I could actually make it a double thumb hole, so it's one-sided, not one-sided, it's double-sided, I mean, like that, so it's both sides. Okay, so now I want to put some glue on this hinge like so. Just going to spread that with my finger, and then I am putting that on top of there, which is the other hinge, like so. And then make sure you've got a bit of wiggle room so you can still fold this backwards and forwards, so don't go completely up to the line. So that's okay. So I just pop a bit more glue on. Like that, and give that a press down. Okay, so now we can glue this as a pocket here like this. So again, I'm just going to burnish that and give it a nice crease so it lies flatter, and then I am going to like so. Okay, I'm going to glue that along the bottom and up this side because it's a pocket. Okay, so just a thin bead of glue along the bottom and a thin bead down the side, and then that is pressed down. So you want that little bit of gap because you want that hinge to work. Okay, Okay, so that's page 3 done. Okay, so page 4, we're scoring 1/2 inch on the right hand side. So this is my page 4. Again, it's not really directional. I do like these flowers to be up, but those two are down, so it doesn't really matter. So it's easy for me on this scoreboard if I just do everything on the left, but because it's non-directional, I can then turn it round so that that score hinge is on the right hand side. So I'm turning it round and the hinge is there like that, and it still looks the same. Okay, so glue the non-scored side onto the available hinge. I think I've done something wrong here already. Let me look at my prototype. So I've got this page here, and then this one. So gosh, this is complicated. Okay, hold on one moment while I just check. Right, okay, so I've worked out, I think, that this hinge is glued onto there like so, like that, and then you take so you glue the non-scored side of this onto this like so, and then that, I'm not going to glue that down for a minute. So that's my page 4. So it would look like this. I have to keep looking at my prototype. So there's my front page there. So I think what I've done is this I think should have been, yeah, this should have been on this side. So I've kind of made a bit of a hash. Right, okay, that is a shame. I would still like to use this piece. I'm just wondering what, I'm just going to see if I can get that out. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. So I had attached it to the wrong side, so it has to be attached to this side, and I'd attached it to this side. So what I'm going to, I've managed to get that open, so I'm going to glue that now back down. And I had to discard the pocket we made because that is no longer viable for this. I had to literally cut it off the wrong side here. This side that I've just glued down, I had to cut it so there is no flap on it, but you know, I can keep it and use it. So I'm using my prototype to make sure. Right, so this I managed to get open. So now I need another sheet, and it has to be one that kind of fits in with this, so I'm not too sure now whether that's going to be the next page, or whether we have that as the next page, or this one. This one's very white, so I'm not too keen on that really. I think I'm going to go with this one. Again, it's non-directional, so yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. So this is the front page, has to open like that, and then this is on here. So we're folding this up, we're going, and this is double-sided. It doesn't matter too much because it's going to be a pocket anyway. So which side do I prefer? That side or that side? Ooh, let me see, can I substitute one of these in my pile for one that will go a bit better, maybe? They're all quite highly decorated. So now this one would go quite nicely because of the colours. I think I'm just going to stick with that one. So I'm going to fold it, I'm going to score it. Okay, right, I'm forgetting something. This one is next, so I'd already scored that. No, that's my, so this is the one, this is page 3. So I need to have a score line, and it needs to be on the right hand side. Okay, so it's non-directional, so I'm going to use this side because it's easier for me. 1/2 inch, and then turn it round like so. Okay, so now my score line is here, and I need to fold that down a bit. I'm just going to burnish it a little bit like so, and then I'm folding this side up to the score line, but not quite, leaving a tiny bit of wiggle room there, like so. Just lining that up. Some of this is quite thick. Now we want a thumb hole. So, okay, we'll have thumb hole this side, I think. Yeah, we'll have it this side. So I'm just going to eyeball the centre this time. I'm only going to do one thumb hole. So, up there, I think, like so. Okay, so now this is going to be in here like so. So that's going to be glued in like that. Okay, before I glue it, I'm just checking myself now. So I'm going to glue that in there, and then we're back to page 4, which we've already scored on the right hand side, and we're gluing the non-scored side onto the available hinge. So that's the non-scored side of this. Let's have a look at the prototype. So we're now on this page. So that I think that can actually go in there like so. Right, and then the next page we've got another scenario, so we're going to glue that down, and we've got another flap. Okay, so that's going to go there like so. I'm not gluing these at the moment because I want to make absolutely positively sure that this is what is right. So let's go to page 5. Page 5, we're folding in half with no scoring. So literally just folding page 5 in half like so. And putting that there, and this I don't understand how I did it. My goodness. This is very complicated, and I've already done one, so how can I have this fold in half and glue onto available hinge when this hinge, glue non-scored side onto available hinge? And I haven't got a hinge here. Right, I'm back. So I had made a big boo-boo with these two front pages. So that's the front page, which is scored on the left hand side 1/2 inch, or whichever width you want. Whatever width you do here or here is going to determine the width of the book. So we scored that on the left hand side 1/2 inch, and then the second page we scored again on the left hand side, and we folded it inwards, and then we glued those two together down there, which is that right hand edge when you're looking at the front of the book. When you turn it over, I was supposed to bring this flap out, which I had left and glued down, so I managed to get that out. And then page 3 we have scored on the left hand, page 3 we scored on the right hand side like so here, and we folded it in half up to the score line like that, and we left a little bit of space for the hinge to move, and then we've cut an opening for the pocket, and then we're gluing this hinge in between the first and the second page. So we're gluing it in between there like that. Okay, so I'm going to do that now. Leave that open for a minute because that's our pocket. So I'm going to take the glue and glue this side of the hinge. I only made this prototype a few days ago, and already I've forgotten how it went together. So I am gluing this down. Move these out of the way for a minute. Moving, so leaving that hinge there, and I'm just going to fold that back so it's not in the way, so that you can see where I've glued it. So I'm gluing it in there, so I want it to go in just slightly, so while your glue's wet you can manoeuvre it round, and we're leaving a little bit of wiggle room like so, and then we're going to put a bit more glue on, and we're going to press that down like so, and that is our page 3. So now I'm going to glue this pocket down. So I'm going to glue a long thin bead along the bottom and a thin bead down the side. You want as much room in that pocket as you can get, and then that goes back down like so, and I'm going to press that down like so. That's page 3, and we've still got a flap. You need the flap, which is the hinge. You need that at all times. Okay, so you need to keep making hinges. Right, so now we're moving on to page 4. we've scored that 1/2 inch on the right hand side, and we're going to glue the non-scored side onto the available hinge like this, so we've still got our hinge. Okay, so pray that I'm right. So that one is going to go on there like so, making sure that it's all lined up on this edge. Okay, right, so that's our next hinge, so that's our pocket flap, and this is our next hinge. Oh, I've glued it on the wrong side, I think. Oh, goodness me. Let me just wipe this glue off. Oh, I'm not doing very well, am I? At least this does rub off, this glue, and I have got one of those glue rubbers. So I think this has to go like this. Yes, because we didn't have a hinge width in between it. Right. Okay. So at least I'm going to link Natasha's video down below so that you can look at her instructions and you can copy them by photographing them if you want to yourself. So score on the right hand side, cut opening for pocket. So glue non-scored side onto available hinge. So I'm gluing this side. That's where I'm going wrong. I'm gluing this side onto this. Oh, right. Let's put some more glue on and hope that the other glue dries up in a minute. Right, so non-scored side is there like so. Again, just leave a little bit of wiggle room. So that's still flapping, and that's going to flap in a minute, or I am going to flap away and say I am not putting this video up because you're probably fed up with me by now. Okay, so this is page 4. Page 5, we wanted to fold that in half with no scoring on either side, and we're gluing that onto the available hinge from page 4. So I think that's how it goes. And then so that gets glued onto there like so, which the glue's still tacky. Just let's look at the one we've made earlier. So we're now on this page here. So we've got this like this. Yep. Okay, so that would be our page 6. So page 6, we are scoring 1/2 inch. Just move these, 1/2 inch on the right hand side. So it will turn it upside down so I can still put this right to the edge and do 1/2 inch. So that's how you can do your right hand side and keep it, you know, steady by putting it upside down. So there's my score on the right hand side. Okay, and then we're going to have this as a pocket, so I'm going to cut an opening. So I'm just literally folding it gently over to the score line, pressing that down so I've got a little mark to tell me where my pocket's going to be, and I'm just going to make my little thumb hole. So this is going to be a pocket. Okay. And we're gluing that directly onto this side of page 4 here. So it's going to be like that. Okay, and then I want to make that a pocket, and I want to make this another pocket. So I'm going to put a little thumb hole in this one as well. You don't have to, you can make as many or as few pockets as you want. So I am gluing this directly down, so I'm looking for where the flap's going to be. So the flap is here, and I am gluing that. So let's get it round the right way. So that's going to be in there like so, and we're going to glue that down, and then this one is going to be our next page, and there's our flap or hinge for the next one. So I'm actually I'm going to glue this down first of all. So I'm going to glue a thin bead down here, down this side, and a thin bead along the bottom. Like so, and that is going to be pressed down into here like so. So that's our pocket there, and then this one we're gluing directly down here to the flap. Okay, so what I wanted to do is I wanted to cover up that, so I don't like that white pocket. That one's okay, so it was double-sided. This one I'm going to glue a little bit in here too. Now you can either glue the thumb hole back in, let me just find it and I'll show you what I mean if it didn't go too far. So what I did with the other one, I can't actually find that now. Right, so what I did with the other one is I just took a bit of scrap and okay, so we can use this if we want to, or I can take a scrap from somewhere else. Just hold on, I'll get one. So I've got scraps of my scrapbook pages where I've used them for other things, so I could put a little piece of that behind, or just a piece of that. So I think I'll use a piece of this. All I'm going to do is just cut a little bit out like so, and then I'm going to stick that down in there so that I can just see that through there like that. So I'm going to do that now. So that's what I do, and you can do it either before you glue it down or pop it in afterwards. There's no there's no difficulty with it, because if you open it like this, you can just pop that in and slide it around until you're happy with it. So there we have it. That's covered up that. So I'm going to do the same with this one. what I'll do is I will cut maybe a piece of that, or let's see, this is a nice colour. Oh, I like that behind it. So I'm going to cut a longer piece for this. So just going to cut a piece, I suppose about 1/2 inch or less, it doesn't matter really. And that, before I glue that down, will go there, which I think is quite nice. See what it looks like up that way. Yeah, that's perfectly okay. So I'm just going to glue that on. Also does strengthen your pocket a little bit. So that's one thing I do, because I don't mind some white, but I don't want it all showing. So there, it's covered up now. So this is going to be glued down as a pocket. So I'm only gluing down this side here and along the bottom, leaving that hinge free. Okay, I hope this is making sense. Make sure it's all up the right way, where it should be. And we are just, yes, so I needed to do that side as well. Obviously I'm not really in the right frame of mind for this. I thought I was quite excited about making another one. Thought they were lovely. It's a lovely idea, and a great way to use up your scrapbook pads that you might not necessarily have used, because they might not fit in with a junk journal. They might be too thick, you know. I don't know, because I use some of mine for making journal cards. You don't have to back them necessarily. So we've left the flap there. So what we have to do is remember that this is this page here. God, I hope and pray I've left the right flap out. Okay. So that was page 5, and don't worry about that, because I will go around with some distress ink. Let's just give that a little press down there. See, it's nice because it gets tacky, but you can still move it. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that's the same. Okay, so hopefully this is looking like our prototype, which is actually this page here. Okay, so that's that one, and then that is this one, is this one. Okay, so we're now on page 7, so we're scoring page 7 on the right hand side, 1/2 inch. Again, this is non-directional, so I can just do it on the left and then turn it round. And we're gluing the side that's not scored onto the previous hinge. So that is going to go, I think, that way, like so. No, it has to go that way, doesn't it? I made that mistake before. So that's my hinge, and this is going on here. Right. Okay, so I am just gluing that hinge rather than the paper. And bring that down on there. give a tiny bit of wiggle room. Okay, so just giving that a burnish to make it sit down. Okay, so right, so that's our page 7. Page 8, we're scoring on the right hand side and we're gluing it completely down onto here, leaving this hinge free. So that is going to be my page 7. So we're scoring that on the right hand side, and this time I'm going to do it upside down because it's, I think, slightly directional. I'm turning it up the other way. Okay, and that goes down onto the previous page, leaving the hinge free. Leaving the hinge free on the right hand side. So that is this page here, which, as you can see, that hinge overlaps that page. So again, get something that perhaps goes together like these two. That's why I chose it. So now I'm gluing this hinge down onto here. So okay, and that is going to lie on there like so, with a tiny bit of wiggle room. And that then making sure that they are aligned. I think that's probably the difficult part for me, is getting them all aligned. Okay, right. Okay, so we've left this hinge free and we're going to glue this completely down. So here goes. Okay, so that is going down like so, leaving this hinge here free. Now you may need to make the hinges slightly tad wider if it doesn't start lining up, because as I said, when it gets bulky you don't want it sticking out everywhere. Okay, so that is our next page here. Right, so now we're on to the flap. We're scoring page 9, ½ inch on the right hand side, and we're gluing the unscored side onto this hinge. Okay, so again, this is obviously directional, so I'm just doing it upside down so I've got a good solid side to do it against, like that. Turning it back up, and then we're gluing this side onto here like this. Okay. Okay. is going on there like that, like so. You can always go around with this beacon 3-in-1. You can always go around afterwards and rub it off, either with your finger or with a rubber if you have one. So that's that one. So on to the next page of instructions, and it says no scoring for the next page. We're just going to fold this one in half like so. Oh, actually I'm going to fold it that way because I think this is the flap, so it's more central. So I've just folded that in half like so. Open back up and glue left side onto previous hinge. Okay, so I'm just checking. That's that page, and that. Oh no, this is this piece here. This is this piece, right? Okay. So that now is going to be glued onto there like so. Yeah, that's going to be glued onto there like so. And this time I'm not making it a pocket, I'm making it a pull out flap. Okay, so I'm just going to glue that down. I just want to make sure so I'm gluing it onto the flap this way round like so. Okay, the white side. Well, according to my prototype, that is how it looks. Okay, so this is opening up like this. So this piece is supposed to go like that and not that side. Oh dear. How not to do this. See what I mean? You can just do that with your finger and it will come off. I'll just put you on hold while I do back. So this is glued this side down onto this flap. This is how not to make this booklet. Why make all these mistakes? It might make you feel better because you'll probably make a better job of it than me. So now we've got that like that. Okay, I've just got my rubber just to rub off that excess glue. Okay, so let me just count these pages because I'm getting into a bit of a pickle. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is 10. Right, so that's where we are. We're at 10. So number 11, score on the right hand side. Glue the whole page onto the previous page, leaving the hinge free. I see. So right, so it's going on here. So right, so this is my next page. It's non-directional, so again I'm scoring it on the left hand side, 1/2 inch, turning it round, and then that is staying free like that, and I'm leaving the hinge free, on the right. So it's going to be glued down like this. Okay, like so. So I might make that hinge slightly narrower, just to give me a bit of room. I just want to see what that looks like. So I'm going to leave it like that, and then that is going to stay free, so that fits much better. Okay, and I've still got some wiggle room there. Right, so gluing this whole page on, leaving the hinge free. Right, okay, I don't want this to be a very long video, so only putting a slight amount on. Okay, so gluing this on to here like so, and moving that down a little bit like that, and then yeah, I did need that extra little bit there for that. Right, okay, so that's page 11. Page 12, we're scoring it on the right hand side. So this is my page 12, and as it's directional, I am doing it upside down because I like this straight edge at the end of this little mini scoreboard. Turn it round, and there's my hinge. So I am now gluing the unscored side onto the previous hinge. So I'm doing it like that. Okay, so I am going to, that's it, I'm going to be doing it this way round. Just going to put some glue there, and whoops, and that side is going to be glued to that hinge there. Like so. Like that. Gosh, this is very slippery, this sheet. Right. Okay. Right. I just need a bit of glue, I think, down here. Just a tiny bit, just to secure this. Okay,